Hi, everybody. I'm Ketan Babaria. I'm the product manager for the digital goods product that was announced today morning. Very exciting. We're going to show you the demo. We are very excited to see it launched. And here with me will be Khurram Khan. He is also product manager in the digital goods team. And we will have Jeff Crichton, who is a developer at Autosport, who's going to demo the digital goods product that they have integrated. So very excited. We'll go about for 30 minutes. We'll do 5 minutes of demo, and then we'll get into Q&A. So really quickly, we'll walk through the background of digital goods, right? So why did we even build this product? We already know that more than 50% of the direct payments in social gaming goes through PayPal. So what was the need? Why did we even build it? What are the salient features of this product? We'll then talk about the two different ways you can integrate digital goods product. And then we'll walk you through what are the decision criteria that you could use to choose one or the other. We'll talk you through the integration steps. We'll show you a quick UI of what it looks like. And finally, we'll go on the demo and recommendations. So regarding questions, what we can also do is maybe halfway through the presentation, we'll take one question, if there is one burning question, and if that sets the agenda. And if not, then we'll just go till the very end and take all the questions at the end, depending on how our time goes. So quick background, why did we build this product in the first place? So within PayPal, we talk to our customers all the time. We talk to our customers, consumers, we talk to merchants, we talk to developers. And even though we have a pretty big mind share in the digital goods space, but there are a few things that we are hearing consistently from our developers and from merchants and consumers. It was a pain to maintain two separate accounts, one for a micropayment and the other for macro payment. What was happening was that we offer 5% plus 5 cents, which is the new micropayment pricing. And people used to sign up for that account to process just the small dollar amount transactions. And then they would set up another account to settle all the larger dollar amount charges. And then they used to make a real-time decision based on the amount. OK, I'm going to process this one through the micropayment account and this one through the macropayment account. So that was a big pain point. The other, which you all must be aware of, is I do not want my user to leave my site. How many of you relate to that? Pretty much, we heard it from pretty much everybody. Right? Do not take them away from my website. And the reason is, typically in the digital goods space, context is very important. So if you're playing a game, you're in the middle of a game, you're given an opportunity to purchase an item. You try to purchase that item, you're taken away from the game. And by the time you come back, the context is lost. The page refreshes itself, and then you're no longer at the same stage where you were. So that is one of the big problems. And finally, they also wanted to make the whole experience seamless. So even though there are multiple different types of consumers who can come, right? So there could be consumers from different countries, consumers who are using different types of currencies. At the same time, we want to make sure that everything comes together well. We do not want to have myriad different ways a consumer goes through the experience, even though they are going through PayPal. So these were the few big things that we heard. And based off all of those feedback, we built the product that you all saw in the morning's demo. So we have a bunch of partners currently testing this product in beta environment, and we hope to launch this product soon so that you all can use it. So let's stop at that. One of the things that you can do, one of the exciting things that we have today for you is we have a big prize draw at the end of the presentation. So you have to be here in order to be eligible for it. And we'll be passing around a bowl. And people can drop in their business cards, or if they do not have their business card, they can write up their name, email, and the company. And then we'll do a draw for that prize. And that prize is not a trivial one. It's something that everybody wants right now. So please put in your card, and what you're going to do is, as soon as we have the early release documentation available, we will send that to you guys so that you can start playing around with it. So we'll pass around the ball, and then if you can put in your card, it's at the end, we'll send it to you. Okay? So what are the salient features of the digital goods product right now? So one of the big things that we always focus on is how to improve the conversion for our merchants, for our consumers, for our developers. So by conversion, I mean number of people who finished the transaction divided by number of people who started the transaction. This is one of the metrics that we track very closely. And that was one of the big focus of the digital goods product that we have created, which we'll show you at the very end. One of the pain points that we talked about earlier, remember, was we do not want you guys to maintain 2 different accounts and make a real-time decision which account to use for the type of payment. So the product that we have created automatically adjusts based on the ticket size. So you guys do not have to worry about it. We will see, okay, this is a $50 transaction, so we will charge you 2.9% plus 30 cents, or whatever your regular fees is. And, oh, this is a $1 transaction, and we will charge you 5% plus 5 cents. So you always get the cheapest fees possible. How cool is that, right? So you do not have to worry about that at all. You just sign up for one account, integrate once, and then you are good to go. Of course, once you integrate with PayPal, it comes with its world-class fraud management, right? So PayPal's fraud losses are among the lowest, and then we extend that to digital goods as well. So we will have digital goods specific fraud management so that you can your losses are lower. And one of the strengths of PayPal is it is one of the few solutions in the market which allows you to take payments from 190 markets and 24 currencies in an instant. Right? So you do not have to go and get locally relevant banking relationships. You integrate PayPal, and then you are able to open it up to all the consumers in those 190 markets. And it covers pretty much all the big markets. So we extend that capability also in this latest product, which we're going to show you. And finally, integration. That is something that you all care about. How difficult is it, right? Let me tell you this. We have heard people integrating this product within days. So, and specifically, if you already are Express Checkout customers, if you already are using Express Checkout as one of the integrations from PayPal, it's very simple because we make sure that we are backward compatible, and you can enable digital goods solution on top of Express Checkout very easily. You have to make extra API call, integrate a little bit of JavaScript, and then you're good to go. So if you're using Express Checkout, it's very easy. If you're using Adaptive Payments product, again, it is a simple integration on top of it, and then you do not need to rip away everything and start from scratch. So overall, the idea is to make it very easy for you to give the world-class consumer experience to your users across the different countries, and making sure you can do it in a cost-effective way possible, and at the same time do not spend months integrating the solution. So then let me come to really quickly talk about what are the different options. So I told you a little bit about how did we build the solution, what are the salient features of the solution, but let me talk about the different flavors of the product. So within PayPal, we have different product lines, and the 2 product lines which has enabled digital goods solution, also known as the in-context solution, is Express Checkout and Adaptive Payments. And here's the way you can figure out which one to go for. For the most part, we provide the similar feature across the both product lines. So we, of course, enable fast in-context checkout. So the things that you saw in the morning, the 2-click checkout, is available on both products. We also enable the pricing structure. So automatically adjusting the pricing based on the amount is also available in both products. So one-time payments, again, when you can click on buy now button, you finish the transaction, and you purchase one item at a time is also supported. One thing that is supported in Express Checkout but not in adaptive payments is subscription and recurring payments. So if you are signing up for, say, weekly, monthly, or yearly subscription, that is supported in Express Checkout. Of course, both are supported on the browser. For Express Checkout, we support NVP and SOAP. For adaptive payments, we support JSON as well on top of NVP and SOAP. Something that is supported in adaptive payments but not in Express Checkout is the multi-party shopping cart. So if you are a developer who has multiple merchants selling on your site, so you need a cart which has items from multiple merchants, then adaptive payments is a way to go because it supports split payment and chain payments that you would need to use while you're processing the payments in a marketplace like of an environment. So really quickly, some of the use cases for Express Checkout and social networks, if you want to accept direct payments, right? Allow your customers to purchase in-game currency, allow your customers to directly purchase in-game artifacts. So you must have heard that Facebook now will be accepting the digital goods solution, which we're going to show you now as one of the ways to pay and purchase your the Facebook credits. So something similar use cases when you want to purchase in-game artifacts for currencies. Similarly, publishing and media, direct payments and recurring payments. So if you have a blog or if you own a newspaper website where you want to sell content, so you may have heard that FT and Haymarket and our partners are integrating this digital goods solution to enable payment for the premium content. So that is another place where Express Checkout is helpful. And finally, about software downloads and software as a service, you can have your consumers sign up for a recurring payment, which you can charge them on a recurring basis, or you can have them sign up for pay-as-you-go. So you can bill your customers based on usage. So you see this month, this person has consumed, let's say, $10 worth of services. You can charge them $10 at the end of a month. And the next month, you can vary that amount as well. And finally, of course, the typical shopping sites where you can go and directly have your buyers purchase items one at a time or signing up for subscription. So with that, I'll pass it on to Khurram, who's going to delve a little bit deeper on where adaptive payments can be used. And also, once you are ready, picking up one product line or the other for your payment services, how do you go about moving from what you have today and signing up and be ready to accept payments?
Thank you, Caden. Well, let me start off with asking people, how many of you guys know adaptive payments? Or how many of you guys heard about adaptive payments? Okay, so it looks like it's about a balance, you know. There is a session right after this about adaptive payments. If you guys want to learn more about adaptive payments in general, you're free to attend that. Feel free to attend that. So essentially what we did was we kind of designed this digital goods project, right? Obviously, its number one priority was convenience for both, actually, for the merchant as well as for the consumer. Number second was, yes, you know, good user experience, obviously. And number third was pricing. You know, we kind of launched all that. But at the same time, you know, we feel obligated that, hey, guys, the merchant should not really pick one product over the other because, you know, digital goods is available in Express Checkout and not in other products. So that's why, you know, we enabled that on adaptive payment as well. Some of the use cases to talk about, marketplace social networking, right? Let's assume that you want to open a marketplace. Let's assume that you have, you know, multiple merchants selling items on that marketplace. With adaptive payments parallel payment capability, you can enable that. You can have your consumer going through one buying experience while you disperse the fund to multiple recipients as a part of the same transaction. Another interesting use case, what I often see is that a lot of these digital sites who wants to monetize also likes to, you know, give away a portion to charity. Well, with the parallel payments, you can do that. Every time you download, you can claim that on your website saying that, hey, every dollar you donate or you pay for buying, we will give 10% to a certain charity. You can make that happen through parallel payment. App Store, so if you have a feature called chain payment, essentially what it is, it's a split payment which kind of, the money moves from the consumer to the merchant of record or the merchant itself, and then behind the scene, if you guys want to monetize, a portion of that goes to the secondary recipient. So a lot of, lots of use cases that deals with like percentage, where they want to actually have a certain percentage for themselves, but they don't want to be merchant of record. So again, going back to the App Store model, where you open up this App Store, and then you don't really have any listing fee for these guys to come in and publish their content, but every time a consumer purchases the content, you may want a share of that. So you can make that happen again, through one experience by using the chain payment capability. Again, you can actually decide at the point of sale, what sort of a percentage do you want. It does not have to be a fixed percentage. It really, is flexible enough that suits your business model. Let's assume that, for certain transactions or for certain digital downloads, you have, you charge 10%, while others you might charge 5%. So you can actually, determine that percentage at the time of transaction. And again, since you are the secondary recipient, you don't really are not the merchant of record, and you can just take your share and you're done with it. Other stuff, obviously gaming and music, but at the same time, the shopping cart. So essentially, you're paying multiple recipients. You guys kind of get that. But what about, I'm on the marketplace and I buy, songs from one, album, right? There might be multiple songs listed in one album, and you have a marketplace. So I go in, browse through your marketplace. Let's assume that I pick 2 songs, and these 2 songs can potentially be from one artist. But you want to see that, breakdown cost. When the consumer goes through the experience, you want the consumer to see, okay, you know what? I actually downloaded this song from music.com. That's the recipient. But at the same time, I'm able to see that these are the breakdown costs. I'm paying like, 50 cents for song A, and I'm paying, maybe 20 cents for song B. So essentially, multiple items within a single merchant with the breakdown costs, and all this is possible through the APIs. You can actually pass in the item name, description, amount. There's a big debate about digital goods and taxes, but yeah, digital goods also support taxes. So if you have a capability where you can actually pass in the tax amount associated with that transaction. And then moving on. So obviously, in order for you to get digital goods, what are we talking here? How difficult is this? Are we talking about submitting 100 papers from your merchant account so that we can evaluate and see how difficult it is, are you eligible or not? We made it very easy. All you got to do, so I'm going to actually walk you through 3 use cases, right? Let's assume that you choose Express Checkout as a product as a solution for your business case. What is it starting from setting up a new account, and how can you opt in for digital goods? I'm going to also share with you the adaptive payments flow, how you can actually opt in for digital goods. And finally, as most of you are already existing account holders or business account holders, what is it that you guys would need to do to enable this cool capability that we just launched? Let's talk about Express Checkout. So today, if you want to choose Express Checkout as your product, and you want to opt in for digital goods, essentially you start off with a simple flow. You go to your business tab at paypal.com. You click on sign up, and then you choose which account you want. Digital goods is available on business accounts, so you would choose business as your option, and then you'll move on to the next page. It kind of gives you what exactly is that what you're trying to do. So you choose digital goods as the option from that drop-down menu, and then you fill up your business information, which is as usual. You haven't changed anything. And once you're done, you land up on your account overview, which has a link to your business setup. So once you click on the business setup, you get to your business setup page, and then as you selected Express Checkout, you click on Start Now. This is what you're going to see now. It's micropayments. Do you want to opt in for micropayments? The answer is yes. You click on this, you get to the sign up for micropayment pricing, and this kind of gives you an idea about the pricing. And once you're, done through this, agree and sign up, and you're done. So this is, again, another chain that we bought in. We wanted to make this, as light as possible. We wanted you guys to have access to the digital goods in the most simplest possible way. Going back to adaptive payments, as some of you know, that adaptive payments, you got to start off on x.com, which is our developer site. Pretty much the same process. You start off on x.com, sign up for the business account. Sign up for the business account. Go to the account overview, business setup, and setting up the payment option and the confirming the micro pricing. So if you notice the x.com Express Checkout, it does not really change much. It's the exact same flow, but the only difference is for Express Checkout, you started off at paypal.com, while for adaptive payments, you started off at x.com. If you're an existing user, it's even simpler. All you got to do is just log into your PayPal account, to your PayPal business account, go to your account overview, My Business Setup, set up your payment option, and boom, just confirm your micro pricing, and you're done. So we made it that simple. Again, this will be generally available pretty soon. And then, since you guys are here and then you drop your business cards, I'm sure that your names and emails, we will send out the documentation offline with you. Just another reminder, if somebody came in late in the session, we were going to give away a very good product, which I guess everybody wants in the Valley these days, at the end of the session. But the key is that you guys have to stay at the end of the session, because if you're not here to claim the price, we'll move on to the next one. So if you guys have not put in your business card or did not put your name or your email, feel free to do that. I don't know where the ball is these days. Okay, there it is. Okay. Okay, so what is it? You opted in for micro pricing. You're set. Assume that you are either an Express Checkout merchant, or you are an adaptive payment merchant. What is it that you're going to do? Well, as Caden mentioned earlier, it's not that difficult. All you're doing is just embedding the JavaScript button on your website. The rest of the logic remains the same. So let's talk about it, right? You have your website, and then you have this Pay with PayPal button. All you're doing at this point is behind that button, there's a JavaScript logic. So this is like a sample snippet for adaptive payments, which goes behind your Pay with PayPal button. Again, the same is true for Express Checkout, slightly different script, and that is your snippet code for Express Checkout that goes behind the PayPal button. The rest, the entire integration is just the same. You will pass in a digital goods flag as a part of the API, so that will be just one enhancement. The rest, the integration remains the same. Not complicated at all. Now, once you're embedded the JavaScript button, the user actually clicks through the pay experience. This is what's going to happen, right? You will launch a mini browser. And then how does this flow look like? Again, it's a mini browser. It's not a classic redirect. We've been actually working on this for quite some time, because for the past 10 years, PayPal always has been redirecting users to paypal.com. And it wasn't like we love to do that. It's also to ensure that the consumers are safe enough, right? We care for the users, for the merchants as well as for the consumers. And this is where we launched this product, which is in the mini browser, without having to compromise the security aspect of it. So let's walk through this, right? You launched through the mini browser. Some of you may have already seen that as a part of the session this morning, but for those who did not, let's go through this real quick. So you launched the mini browser. The guy puts in his email and password. And remember that checkbox, which allows you to get a much more seamless experience for your next purchases. So you check that, and then you are on the review page. So this is an adaptive payment mock-up. So you will see that it's a parallel payment. You bought Swing Games and Music, 2 different amounts. If you were to expand that, you will see the breakdown cost if there were multiple items in the cart. Choose your funding preference, and then you're done. So you land on the confirmation page, and then you just close it. Browser closes, the merchant, you're done as a merchant. Now, since you guys remember that I did check the Remember Me cookie or the skip login checkbox in the beginning, what is the experience going to be when I come in next time? Well, we'll find out. We'll click on Pay with PayPal. This time, it's even a better experience. You are actually having the user stay on your site, and we will expose them through the light box. So essentially, he did not have to log in. We remember who he is. He lands straight on the review page. You just want to make sure that he's okay with the payment. And once he authorizes, we land on the confirmation page, and boom, you're done. So that's, we made it this simple for you guys, not just to opt in, all through the website, no human interaction, checking your papers. At the same time, the integration piece, as Caden mentioned, some of them were able to do this over a weekend. So I think with that, I'm just going to quickly go over the communication model. It's pretty much the same. As I mentioned, there is a buyer who goes on the DigiMerchant website, and then he wants to purchase that item. Essentially what happens is he makes the request. So you pass in the request parameters as a part of the API request. You get back a response, a token, or a pay key. And then, what's going to happen is you as a merchant will launch this mini browser that, allows the user to log in, review, and pay. And behind the scene, what's happening is that the money is actually moving from your account to the merchant's account. And then, we will just close the mini browser, and then we will send out the notifications to both to you as the merchant as well as to the consumer. With that, I'm going to actually have Jeff come up on the stage and show us a quick demo. Yeah. There is a guest checkout option, yes. Simply so as a part of the UI, instead of log in, there's an option where you can actually say, I want to just pay as a guest. And then all he has to do is enter the credit card, does not have to open a PayPal account, and you can go through the experience, yes. No. So the consumer, at the end of the day, needs to decide, if he wants to log in or he wants to pay as a guest. So there isn't any flag that you guys would have to pass. Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, so I'm Jeff Crichton from Autosport.com, and I run the development for the site. It's Haymarket's motorsport site, which backs up a magazine with 60 years of history. And what we do is we have some free content on the site, which is funded by advertising. We also have this premium offering, which over the years we've used credit cards to take payments for annual subscriptions and monthly subscriptions. But what Digital Goods lets us do is take this further and just take one-off payments for single articles. So we'll show you how it works. The user picks a piece of content on the site, and we load a portion of that to give them a teaser of what the article's all about. They start to read that, and then as they browse down, we've got this new integration with Digital Goods. So we're still offering the ability to subscribe, because we do want to get people doing that, but we're also making it a lot easier to commit to this one piece of content, get a flavor for the stuff that we're doing, and maybe come back in the future as a subscriber. You can see we're already logged in here. So the first time you use this, you'd get the mini browser with the login prompt, but the experience is so much better once the user has actually logged in. When they click on that button, what's going on is it's calling back to our server, and we're setting up the transaction with the Express Checkout API. And then we're coming back around from PayPal, and the JavaScript picks up the response and brings on the flow here. So it's straight up to this confirmation, and the user simply clicks, pay now.
So I don't know, Keaton, you know that you just bought this.
Yeah.
You were logged in as Keaton. Okay. There you go.
So there is the completion of the flow. So what's happened there is PayPal has come back and said, Caton has given us his $1, and we record that transaction in our system, do a little bit of Ajax to bring on the rest of the content, which the user can now read. But also what we wanted to do was give them a good user experience in being able to go back and look at this content in the future. So we set them up with an account on our site, and then they collect together all of their content that they've purchased over time. I'll give you a look at that. And they can always come back and read stuff that they've purchased with PayPal. So it's a really simple integration. It's effectively just the Express Checkout API with that little piece of JavaScript on top that brings the flow to life. And it took us about 2 weeks to pull it together, really. And it gives us a really simple flow and a great opportunity to convert more people to our premium content. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Jeff. All right, so with that, I think we can open up for questions, and then maybe right at 2:45, we can announce the winners. Yes.
So, like one thing with the API itself, like, is there something
Repeat the question.
So the question is that if you want access to the APIs, if you would need to register?
right?
Yeah. So essentially, the entire flow that I walked through, that is the registration process, right? So you started off opening a brand new account. You do not have an account with PayPal. You go to paypal.com, the business tab, and then just walk through that flow.
So are you talking about registering now or once it's available? So whatever we showed you will be available soon, and then you can go and register yourself.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes, so we're already using PayPal when we have a merchant account. Is this feature just available right away for us to use?
It's not live yet. We are working with our partners. So the demo that you saw was actually live, but it's not live to everybody yet. But once it's live, people who have business account can sign up through the same process within a few minutes, and then you should be good to go.
And what is I saw the process where, you're already logged into PayPal is pretty slick, but what does the process look like if you're actually logged out of PayPal? How does that look if you're actually logged out of PayPal?
Okay.
So the question is, what's the experience like when you're not logged in? So what we had showed you was 2-click, which is the most optimized version. So for people who purchase things very frequently, they would probably opt into this. But for one-off purchases, so if you click on the button, then you'll be given this option of logging in, signing up for a PayPal account, and finishing the transaction, or completing as a guest. So somebody asked the question what it looks like.
Yeah.
This is where they can choose to finish the transaction as guest. And it's very simple. I think what's something that Khurram already showed you, the experience is like this. So you go here, enter your username, password, you click on login, you go to the review your purchase page, and then after you click on purchase, you're done, and the window closes, and then you can see the item that you were purchasing.
And when is this API going to be available?
Soon. Again, we make sure that, so one of the big things that we always track is the metrics that we are tracking for existing products. The new product should surpass those. At least for this product, we want to make sure that your conversion is higher than the baseline product. And that's the reason we go through the beta process. We work with our partners, and once we validate the concept, then we will open it up to everybody. But we are expecting it to be live very soon. Yes, please.
I noticed that there was a feature where after you bought the good, you could get back to your past purchases. So is there some way to essentially use PayPal for single sign-on, or what exactly, how would I get back to my previously purchased goods with just my PayPal username and password later? Do I have access as a developer to the cookie that PayPal stores, or how am I getting your first name? I saw it said, hey Keaton, this is your stuff. How is the developer accessing that information?
So are you talking about something that Jeff showed you where there were 2 links that the person has purchased in the past? Is that what you're talking about?
He clicked on something right after saying these are my
Yeah.
past purchases.
So that
and it
is
said your
something-
name on there. So how did it get your name?
Correct. So this one is mostly because he has created an account for this particular user when they purchased this item. So he created a shadow account, and that is something that we don't create. It is more on the developer side. So he has created, and if you want to speak to it a little
absolutely.
bit.
So when the payment completes, we get express checkout details from that payer, and we register them on our registration system, so we can then cookie them with our own cookies and maintain that state for that user. We also email them out a username and password generated randomly, so that they can always come back to our site, log in and get the content that they've purchased. It's particularly useful for our digital magazine product. So we're going to have our magazines, and you can buy an issue of the magazine, and you might want to come back and reread that magazine in the future.
And just wanted to clarify there too that this is just a demo, but in general, if you're creating an account on behalf of somebody, there should always be enough disclosure early in the flow that, hey, if you would like to be added to our list, or if you want to create an account on our site, click here, so that the user is not surprised at a later point when you send them an email with the username and password.
So does PayPal share back the PayPal user's email address with the merchant?
So
Can you link the two accounts that way?
Yes. When you call the Get Express checkout details, it contains the user's PayPal email address.
Thanks.
Yes, please. Yeah.
I have a scenario where I have multiple inexpensive items on the site, and the user may choose to purchase a single item, say buy now, buy through PayPal now, or he may choose to add to cart. So it sounds like I may want to add 2 buttons for each item. Is that a use case scenario that you envision?
You could. It totally depends on what your overall interaction is. It's very merchant and the site specific. Typically, we want to avoid the number of clicks users do in order to get to a certain point. But I think we may have to look into what exactly you have before we can tell you a little bit more about that.
Just to jump in, I think the way I would design that website is that have one PayPal button and have entire items listed in your site. So people can just check in all those items that they want with a checkbox, and then just click Pay with PayPal. So remember the adaptive payments, parallel payments, where you're actually paying multiple sellers. That's the kind of use case I was referring to, where you're actually checking multiple items. If they're from one seller, it goes in the shopping cart. If they're from multiple seller, then it goes into multiple shopping carts.
Yeah, you can have.
Yeah, I was just going to say that that's how you would address it. Instead of having a PayPal button against each item,
Right.
which may not be a good interaction between the consumer, because you got to go back and forth by each item independently.
So what I hear you saying is you suggest to add to cart button instead of something like this for my scenario.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we got time for like 2 more questions.
Oh, yeah. Let's go towards the back. The neglected folks in the back.
And we'll always be available after the session outside, so we are available after this. You can ask us any questions.
Hi. One of the problems that we've run into is that guest checkout is not real obvious today when they get directed to the site, which has forced us to integrate with other merchant service providers to handle the non-PayPal case. It's better than it is, but it's still not as obvious as maybe it should be. Is there a way maybe we can have 2 buttons, one that says checkout with PayPal that takes you into the PayPal flow, and maybe one that says checkout as with my credit card, that still pops that dialogue but takes you straight into the credit card process?
So for this product, it's not available yet. The way we test and monitor things is we test different scenarios. We look at which one converts better. For this one, we have not tested that scenario yet. So we usually do not allow, in fact, we never allow our merchants to choose the page where users land up, because we want to make sure that the consumer get the consistent experience. But not to say that it's not going to be available in the future, but at least in this product, right now it's not available. Something that our UI designers will always look into, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about it after the session, to hear where we should put it and your ideas around it. Yeah, I mean, we of course have certain other product, as somebody just mentioned, that allows you to do the direct credit card processing, but we can talk about that after this session.
Okay, so I know we're going to be running out of time, so I would request Carrie to come up on the stage and announce the winner. So if anybody has not put in their card, please do that. Now, you can only do 1 card per person, if you guys didn't know. Okay.
And believe me, we'll be looking.
All right, so somebody in this room is about to get one of the most appealing products out there. And And I know everybody wants it. So I would request Carrie or Senior Director to come on the stage and announce the lucky person. Carrie, please. Okay. Okay, go ahead, kid.
All right.
The lucky guy is?
Mr. Trevor Cromwell, founder and CEO of AppBacker. Congratulations. And you win an iPad. That's it. Thank you all for coming. We'll be available outside if you have any questions.